Hello, friends, and welcome. I am Selena Beasley, executive makeup coach. I teach online professionals, brand builders, women in business how to do their own makeup like a professional so that they can show up representing their business and their brand, looking the part of their success. And so this is 3 ways that you can be your own beauty advocate. And I want to share a little story of how this came about. And while I'm doing that, I haven't put my makeup on today. So I'm just going to go ahead and do it while you're here. So we can kind of just pretend that you're sitting here with me having a cup of coffee while I'm putting my makeup on. While I share 3 ways you can be your own beauty advocate. So I'm going to be looking at you. I'm going to be looking at my mirror. So if I look away, just pardon me. I'm not feeling so well today. And I also have my 5-year-old is home. So if he busts in, I'm a mom. I'm a mom first. I have 4 kids. Being a mom, as I say to my kids, is my favorite thing. And then I love helping women improve their brand image, build their small businesses, and look and feel like the confident powerhouse that they are in their industries. So, okay, so let me explain to you kind of how this whole concept of beauty advocacy, let me explain to you how this whole idea of beauty advocacy just sort of fell out. So I was teaching a live training yesterday. If you tuned into my live training yesterday, give me a shout. It was a good one. It was a fun one. It was just a great crew. And I was sharing 3 on-camera makeup mistakes that might be costing you business. So, I mean, it's so funny because I'm so positive. Like, I'm just a positive, almost Pollyanna almost positive to a fault. So even as I was writing that title, I was like, "Ooh, that sounds really daunting." But there just was no other way around it, and it didn't end up being as scary as it sounded. If you were there, give me a shout. Let me know, that it was helpful, that it was valuable to you. But one of the points that I was making was about being your own beauty advocate, and even as I said it, like it sort of just. Like I had it in my notes, yes, but it was something that just sort of, have you ever something just kind of fallen out of your mouth and you're like, okay, I feel like that's significant. I should probably spend some time and develop that idea, but I'm going to just kind of tuck it away for now. And that's what I did. And then I was scrolling Pinterest. Careful when you scroll Pinterest, it's dangerous. But I was scrolling Pinterest and I came across this, and I'm a makeup coach, so of course my feed is all, makeup and different techniques and approaches and hacks and all of that. It's fun. But I came across this sort of, I don't know, it was a manifesto, I guess, of, what did it say? Oh, I wrote it down. It was how the makeup industry profits off of our insecurities. I'm sorry, I know I'm laughing, but I kind of just went, I was sitting here with my Yorkies, and I'm working and I'm kind of, scrolling and I'm like, all of a sudden I just get like really upset. And I was like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I was like talking to myself and my puppies. I'm like, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And so then like my inner, debate team champion just started to come out, I'm like, I start arguing with the author of this manifesto where nobody else is listening to me except for my puppies. And I'm explaining why I think that that's dumb. And I was like, that's like saying that like the entire apparel industry is profiting off of people with body dysmorphia, or the entire auto industry is profiting off of people with FOMO. And, I was very convincing, and my puppies thought I was very convincing as well. But I was just like, why am I getting so upset? So I started to just kind of go, okay, you know what? And I circled back in my mind to this this concept that I just so casually, tossed out to the wind of becoming your own beauty advocate. And that's not a term that I use. Advocate is not a term that I use lightly. And I will explain to you why if you hang with me. But I thought, all right, I need to develop this idea of beauty advocacy. And so I'm going to share with you now, without further ado, just so you know the emotional motivation that brought this on. I was emotional. I was pretty fired up about it. And so there are 3 ways that you can be your own beauty advocate. And by advocate, I mean knowing what you need, why you need it, where to get it, and when to use it. That really is it for being an advocate, okay? The first one is to know your colors. So this is how you know your colors. First, you identify your colors based on your skin tone. And the general rule of thumb is that the deeper your skin tone, the more intense your colors have to be. So if you de-intensify your colors too much, that's when our image looks lifeless. That's when we look dull and tired and washed out. And that's why you can look in the mirror and it's like, hey, I'm looking pretty good, not bad. And then you get in front of the camera and it's like, whoa, hey there. That's not what I intended to look like at all. So knowing what colors and the degree of intensity to dial into your colors based on your skin tone is like, that's it. That's first stop. Second stop of knowing your colors is being able to identify your skin's undertone. And this is always the part of the play where people just kind of fall asleep. They're like, I don't understand what you're talking about. Undertones. What is that? Your undertones, regardless of your skin tone, every person, from the lightest of ivory skin tone to the deepest of bronze skin tone, their undertones run cool, warm, or neutral. And based on how your undertones are, that's what determines what colors look best on you. Warm colors, cool colors, or are you neutral? So this can get very complicated. And like I said, people can kind of glaze over. So I made it like super, super, super simple. And I created a little 1-minute quiz. Don't go take it now, but when we're done together, you could go take it. If you go to selinabeasley.co and under my freebies section, there is a skin undertone quiz, and you can take this quiz. It's going to ask you some questions about, namely how your skin responds to the sun, kind of some trends, year-round trends with your skin. That's going to give you a really good idea of your undertone. Knowing your skin tone and what colors, how to dial in the intensity of your skin tone, colors that are going to bring that are going to be a more higher contrast for your skin, and knowing your skin's undertone. This is first stop to being your own beauty advocate. The second stop is to know your own facial contour. Now, as soon as I say contour, people go, you scare me. That's scary. Contour is a scary thought. And I am not referring to contour in the sense of the number 3 here, that we all see in the beauty tutorials. That's not necessarily the contour that I'm talking about. That is one element of contour, but that is not it. Hang on, this is hard to do and talk at the same time. So I am talking about contour in the sense that all contour does is it's a strategy that's used that follows the natural bone structure of your face. And it includes yes, your cheeks and your cheekbones, but it also includes your eyes, your eyebrows, your lips, any other special features of the face. And it works within those features, and that's unique to each person, right? There are no two face shapes or, facial proportion structure that's alike, right? So this is a unique thing to each person. And being able to know your shape, your setting, your size, your special features, and how to guide the eye of your viewers to your advantage using those things, that, my dear, is the secret sauce. That is when you are operating as your own beauty advocate. Okay, where am I here? This usually takes me like 10 minutes, but because I'm blah-blahing here, it's going to take me just a little longer. You don't mind, do you? If you mind, catch the replay. But okay, so way number 3 to becoming your own beauty advocate is to know very specifically why you're doing this whole thing to begin with. Why do we do this? Why do we bother? Well, I'm going to speak to women who are, well, I should say people. Not very many men are interested in what I do. I can't imagine why, but I'm going to say people because I don't want to be terribly exclusive. Why do we do this? Well, there's a lot of different reasons why. And I think that perhaps people who approach makeup as a way of concealing, as of, covering up for insecurities, or feeling like they have to make up for something that, there is some deficiency in some way, then I can almost see where that manifesto that I referenced at the beginning about makeup being an industry that profits on our insecurities. Okay, maybe, but that's not my philosophy. I believe that makeup is not, we don't use this to conceal, to cover up, to make up for some deficiency. Makeup is a tool that is used to uncover or recover or restore the beauty, the balance, the energy, the vibrancy that you already have. And that age or that, the environment, let's just say the environment's brutal on our skin, on our look, hormones are brutal. Makeup is a recovery effort. That's all it is. It's just, it's a, I have this beautiful piece of art. I have this beautiful piece of, this masterpiece that I want to share. I'm going to put it in a pretty frame, I'm not just going to slap it against the wall or, anyway, do you see how I get really kind of hot about this? I get really passionate about this. But why are we doing this? Knowing why you do this is the piece number 3 to becoming your own beauty advocate. So despite whatever your reason, know that I'm here and I support you. But my personal reason is I want to meet my viewer. I want to intersect with my viewer at the intersection of a first impression. So I'm a psychology nerd, okay? You know that if you've been tracking with me for any, length of time, I'm a psych nerd. I'm better with lipstick than I am, with actually being a psychologist. So that's why I didn't go that route, but I'm still an enthusiast. I still read psych journals for fun. And I've been spending some time in this whole concept of the stereotype content model. Stay with me. I know where it's like, wait a second, I thought this was about makeup. This is about makeup. Relax. But anyway, the content model is simply a psychologist's way of explaining how the human brain perceives what it sees when it sees another person, and how the image of the person signals to the brain some key qualities that serve to form a first impression. And this whole idea of a first impression, it used to be like, oh, you have 3 minutes or something to form a first impression. This is just my opinion, but I think we're seeing that it's that time that we have to form a first impression is that it's getting smaller and smaller and smaller. It's going from a matter of minutes to a matter of seconds to a matter of nanoseconds. Studies are now showing that we have anywhere from 1/10 of a second to 3 seconds. I think that's plenty. To 3 seconds to form a first impression. Y'all can't even open our mouths. We can't even, hey, hello, hi there, my name is, you're done. That's it. First impression is made. Now, yes, our messages can serve to transition. I'm gonna do my brows, is that cool? Our messages can serve to transition a person's, mind, and we can get sophisticated with our communication, to really bring people, dial people into our message. But man, 1/10 of a second to 3 seconds, I want to leverage that. I'm spraying a little finishing spray. It's a new trick I'm trying. Spraying some finishing spray on just a clean spoolie. And first I run it over my lashes, and then I'm running it over my my eyebrows, and it's keeping everything in place, and it's sort of keeping the color where I want it. So I want to leverage that intersection of a first impression. I want that when my viewer's brain is scrolling from the time it goes, from top of the thumb on the bottom of the screen to thumb on the top of the screen, I want to leverage that moment. I want to leverage that nanosecond. I don't want to waste that nanosecond to signal to their brain the answers to the 2 questions that they have. And that is, do I trust her? And do I like her? Do I trust her, and can I respect her? And I want them to like me, let's be honest. Any other chronic people pleasers out there, recovering people pleasers out there? I want you to like me. No, I want the key questions is not, necessarily do I like her? It's, do I trust her? Do I respect her? Does she look like she knows what she's talking about? And I want my viewer, I want to go ahead and just answer that question right out of the gate. Let's just go ahead and answer that. And I don't want anything about my image, the impression that I'm giving with my image, to communicate anything other than what I want to be intentional about saying. So if you are just tuning in, this was 3 ways to be your own beauty advocate. And that is, first and foremost, to know your colors. And secondly, and if you do not know your colors, if the whole concept of identifying your skin's undertone is like, it's scary, how do we do this? Just go to my website, selinabeasley.co, and under freebies, you can take that skin undertone quiz. And in 1 minute, you can find out what your skin undertone is. The second thing is to know your shape. And by that, I mean knowing your features, your feature size, your feature setting, knowing things like, are my eyes wide set or are my eyes narrow? That's very key when you're going for your placement approach. That's a key thing to know, to identify. And the third thing is just to know why. Why are we doing this thing in the first place? Why do we bother? Why when I say showing up as the face of your brand and putting your best face forward, why does this matter? Who does this matter to? And it matters, I'm creating a little bit of highlight down here at my jawbone. Why it matters, if you want to leverage that first impression and meet your viewer at the intersection of a first impression to signal know, like, and trust, then it ought to be very important. It ought to be extremely important. So if you have to go there, that's what I promised, but I'm not done with my look. So I'm just going to carry on, and you can stay and listen to the latter half of my story here while I finish up my face. Or thank you for coming, and I hope that you have enjoyed this installment of 3 ways to be your own beauty advocate. Moving on. So this whole idea of where am I? Let's do some lips. This whole idea of being where my lipstick was. I'm recreating this look that I did yesterday. That was a little bit of an experiment, but then I just kind of was digging it. I was like, oh, I'm gonna try to pull that off again. Okay, so got a little bit of a rise out of me, this whole concept of being a beauty advocate. And why did it strike such a tender chord? Well, if you're still here, I'm going to give you a window into my world for a second. So I have a child that is on the autism spectrum. And I first began to, let me use a brush here. I forgot to get a tissue. I first began to live with this whole idea of advocacy really became very personal to me when he was just learning how to communicate. He didn't know how to really speak, or his speech was so delayed, and he just struggled to make sense of the world, where other children were able to make sense of it so instinctively. It really was a struggle for him. So when he was very young, I took it upon myself as his mom to really try to interpret the world for him, and to try to help him make sense of the world, but also to, in a way, translate his needs to the neurotypical world, in hopes that they would make an exception for him, because he thinks he has an autistic mind. So this whole idea of advocacy became very, very personal. It was home. It was in my home. I was my child's advocate. And I realized, and I don't remember if it was a counselor or something that I read, or surely this did not just come from my own brilliance. But I realized that eventually I was going to have to transition him from being, me being his advocate, to him being able to advocate for himself. I didn't know how I was going to do that, but I knew, okay, if right now I'm helping him make sense of the world, but eventually he's going to need to be able to express his own needs and his own wants in a way that is going to be for him to get the results that he wants in this world. Parenting doesn't tickle. In other words, that's what one of his teachers said to me one time. This parenting thing, it doesn't tickle. No, it does not tickle. Let me make sure I'm not missing a brush. I am, but we're gonna make do. Okay, so somewhere between that revelation that I'm gonna have to transition him to being his own advocate. Somewhere between my parenthood and my professional career, I guess my parenting career, professional career, this whole idea of helping people become independent sort of became a bit of a guiding philosophy, before I realized it. And I realized that instead of me always speaking on behalf of somebody else, this is what they want, this is what they don't want. I have to, if I'm going to be a good leader, I have to lead, yes, my kids, but also my clients, to recognizing what they need, what they want, and how to express what that is so that they can get what they want. So, for years, professionally, I have made sense of the beauty industry for my clients. I'm a makeup coach, so most days I spend, I'm saying this color, not that color, this approach, not that approach, this formula, not that formula. You need this, you don't need that. And listen, I love what I do. Okay, if you are just tuning into me and you're like, who is this girl? She's talking about makeup, now she's talking about autism, now she's talking about makeup again. Hear me say that I love what I do. First, I love being a mom first. Favorite thing in the whole wide world. The second thing I love is, yes, I love color and makeup is fun. But I love that my job is I get to witness firsthand when a talented, successful person that comes to me, that they want to look more vibrant and they want to be more confident and they want to look more put together. They want to look the part. They want to be their own social proof for their audience. And there's a moment when I get to witness the spark firsthand, where a person is dialed into their best look and they have carved out this image for themselves, that they go from being like, I'm kind of frustrated, I'm kind of, it's good enough, to, oh wow, that'll command a room, that'll command some attention, let's get that. And it's a moment that honestly, it makes what I do, I think, one of the greatest jobs in the world, besides being a mama. So I love it. However, necessarily, while I love it, about a year ago, I began to feel this sort of shift. And I couldn't really articulate what it was, but I was like, okay, if I'm going to, I want to better increase my clients' chances of success. I want them to get the visibility that they want in their business. I want them to confidently cast themselves as a leading expert in their field. And I realized that if they were going to magnetically attract their audience to their message, that I was going to have to strategically show them how to access the tools and the skills that they needed to create their best look. Because I'm not always going to be there to go, that color, not that color, this approach, not that approach. Yes, you need that. No, you don't need that. And so I realized if I was going to do this, I needed to give people the tools and the skills. And so, but I know, because I'm a woman in business, right? So are you, likely. If you're here, likely you are. But I knew that, okay, if I'm going to create something, this has got to be doable. It's got to be affordable. It needs to get results. This cannot be am I doing this right? Do I look okay? No, this needs to be I know I'm doing this right. I know that I look better than okay. I look great. And I don't have to wonder if I'm, looking good, because I know that I am a force to be reckoned with. And thank you very much. So this is not for us to, this is not about winning a beauty pageant. This is not even about us, gaining the approval of our audience. That's not why we do this. We don't need anybody else's approval, right? If you agree with me, drop it in the comments. We don't need to do this for anybody else's approval. No, we need to do this. This is funny, because when you have something important to say, when I have something important to say to my children, what do I say? Look at me when I'm talking to you. Have you said that? If you're like me, you've said it not once or twice this week, this hour. You've said it. You say it all the time. You got something important to say. You've got a message you want to communicate. It's, look at me when I'm talking to you. And isn't that when we show up to our social media lives, or we show up, in our virtual trainings or in our live webinars, in essence, we're saying, hey, look at me when I'm talking to you. I got something I want to share with you. And you can't make a person listen. However, you can dial in. I'm missing a brush, so that's why I'm blending with my fingers. You can dial into a look that signals authority and authenticity in a way that makes them want to listen to you, in a way that makes them want to wake up and pay attention. And so my goal and my objective over the last year has been, okay, how do I give professionals the tools and the skills that they need to be able to command a room at the intersection of first impression? And by room, I mean virtual or face-to-face. How can we do this at the intersection of a first impression? So that's when the idea of Makeup for Media 101 was born. I meticulously engineered this digital course from the ground up because I wanted to give you everything you needed to build your best makeup look from scratch. So if you've been hanging out with me, in my community for a time, 5 minutes, then if you've ever been waiting for the right time to really take your brand image up a notch, this is the time, sister. So I opened the doors to Makeup for Media 101 this week. I'm hearing my baby come in. Is my baby coming in? Maybe you'll get to say hi to him. And okay, so Makeup for Media is all about how to quickly master your best look for camera so that you can go from looking tired and dull and washed out online on camera to vibrant and excited and magnetically attracting your audience to your message across all your media platforms. Again, that goes back to knowing your purpose. Why? Why are we doing this in the first place? Because look at me when I'm talking to you. So this is the whole goal of Makeup for Media. So this is all about reshaping your image to be more authentic, to be more authoritative, more dynamic than it's ever been before. Now, I recommend that if you resonate, oh boy, this is not the easiest thing to do while you're talking. If you resonate with any of these descriptives, then I encourage you to give it some thought. Consider if this is something that's right for you. Okay, if you are a creative entrepreneur and you know that showing up for the face of your brand to build that know, like, and trust factor with your audience is crucial, then this is for you. Okay, if you are an online, brand builder, business owner, leader, and you are tired of looking tired on camera, and you are ready to get some eyes on your offer, then sister, I made this for you. If you are a brand builder, that, you want to have a healthy online presence, you want to connect with your audience in a way that is consistent and that is authentic to who you are. And you don't want to have to rely on a makeup artist every time you want to create a look for a brand shoot or a social media live or a promo opportunity, and you want to be able to dial in your best look yourself, then this is for you. If you are a thought leader and you have a platform, you're visible, you have a visible platform, either online or face-to-face, and you want to have a confident powerhouse image, my dog, You want to have a confident powerhouse image that really commands the attention and attracts your audience to your message. This is for you. If you are someone who wants to make a deeper impact, you want to grow your influence and your authority to life-changing levels, sister, this is for you. So if you have found yourself kind of nodding your head at any of those descriptors, then this might be something for you to consider. So I would love to, this is my invitation to you to personally, I managed to do that while talking, to personally check this out. You can go to selinabeasley.co and see, you know, is this right for me? Is this something that I need to seriously look at and be a part of? And contrary to popular belief, on-camera makeup is not like a pile it on, wear more makeup, you know, look like a circus clown approach. This is a very strategic, this is done right, this strategy done right, this can level up your most powerful, sorry, my nose is itching. I told you I wasn't feeling well. It's gonna level up your most powerful marketing asset, and that is your face. That is the first thing people see before you even open your mouth. And so I would love the honor of leading you step by step to creating a more confident and attractive image. How do you like that? Good thing we're wrapping this up because my dogs are about to bust in here. Okay, so I'm going to share with you just briefly a little bit of what's inside Makeup for Media 101. So by the end of the program, you will have developed an essential skincare strategy that is going to help you create a camera-ready surface for your camera-ready color. You will have discovered a foundation, shade, and formula and finish that is right for the camera, because camera makeup is different than everyday makeup. You will have customized your color palette, your on-camera color palette, with colors that are complementary to your natural coloring, the coloring of your skin tone, your undertones, your hair, your eyes. So that's a really fun, that's probably my favorite part. You will have created a customized approach for your face shape, your feature size. You're going to learn how to contour in a way that is not one size fits all. It's a one size, this fits you. And that's how you're going to learn that's what you're going to learn how to do. You are going to learn how to apply your eye makeup. See, even the pros make mistakes. This is not easy to do while talking. And besides all of that, you know, learning how to leverage the camera to deliver your message in a way that signals authenticity and trust and authority. Besides all that, we get to do it together. We get to be together. Isn't this great? So, and here, as I'm wrapping this up, here's what I'll say. Most people will spend gobs of time and money and, you know, give energy to things like their website, their fonts, their logos, their brand colors, okay? And the likelihood is, I feel like I need a little more highlight. I'm gonna do a little more highlight somewhere. The likelihood is that 3 to 5 years, you'll probably rebrand. You'll probably choose some different colors. You'll probably change your website's, theme. You will probably change your logo. Heck, you might even completely change gears, and you might change your strategy. You might change your offer. You might change industries. You can rebrand your image, or you can rebrand your business. You can rebrand, you can redirect your strategies. You can retire from one industry and move into one that is entirely separate, right? But you only get one of these. This is going to go with you no matter where your professional journey may take you. And so if you want to leverage, did I already do this step? Somebody tell me if I already did this. If you want to leverage your most powerful marketing asset, no matter what your business journey, no matter what path that takes, if you want to leverage your most powerful marketing asset, mascara, baby. No. In your growth arsenal, then now there has never been a better time than now for you to master your own makeup for the camera. The statistics that are coming out right now about the power of video and how the future is in video. It's in being visual. It's in making a face-to-face contact with the people that we are trying to reach. And as lovely as our websites are and our logos and our graphics and all of that, our people want to see our faces. And sister, I don't think that's changing anytime soon. I really don't. So if you want to, let's get this look on lock. Let's do this thing in a way that signals our intelligence, our competence, our authority, then I invite you to join me inside Makeup for Media 101. And this is, if you go to selinabeasley.co, the very top of the page, you're going to see a little, I got a clump, hold on. You're going to see a little banner that says, join me inside. And if you click on that, you can, read all about who the program's for, what you can expect. You can get some questions answered. And listen, I am a mama. I am a work from home mama. I am not unapproachable. I hope you know that. That's why I show up here every week. Because if you have questions, you can just ask me. And I really only want people who know that they're right for this, who know that they need this, who know that they're like, I've been waiting for this. Where has this been? And if that is you, then I invite you to consider whether or not this is for you. And I'm happy to answer any questions that I can for you. Wow, you just sat with me while I did my whole camera face from start to finish. And I'm just gonna run some transparent powder over this piece, and we're gonna move on with our day. And here's the funny thing about makeup that's appropriate for camera. I would walk out of here and my kids would be like, whoa, mama, that's where you going? Like, that's a lot of makeup. But it doesn't look like that to you, does it? Camera makeup, oh, thank you. Camera makeup is different than everyday makeup. And the sooner we can dial into that and leverage it to our advantage, the better. So, I hope that you have enjoyed 3 ways to be your own beauty advocate. I hope that you will consider my invitation to join me inside Makeup for Media 101. Go to selinabeasley.co and you can look into that program and see if it's a right fit for you. And if you have any questions, you can always email me, selina@aboutface.community. I hope you have a lovely, lovely day. Thank you. This is so much more fun to do when I do it with friends. So thanks for getting ready with me today. This was really fun. Have a fantastic day, and I look forward to hearing from you.